Well, finally back in the shop. It's my weekend. Roofers and gutter guys and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff getting in the way. Okay, so this is the arm as it was last time you saw it. Basically, one thing I noticed here is I let this sleeve slip, okay, and it went too far to the left there, okay, and I need to, so basically I need to cut these spot welds off. I've still got a little bit of room there, as you see. I'm going to slide this over and tack those back on, get that solid again. This was okay, and it had plenty of clearance on this tube from the shock tower. This tube hit the shock tower, so what I need to do is I'm going to cut these ones completely off, and then I'll probably cut 2 of the 3, however many are there. I'll just leave I'll leave one on there kind of weakly so I can just kind of bend it just a little bit and move this over. And what I'm kind of hoping to do is have this one stout enough that I can mount it on the frame jig and position this one where I need it, or at least take it over there and test its placement, and then come back and spot weld it on the bench or something. But I think that's what we're going to work on next, so that we get that finished up. Then we can go from there with the next step. All right, let's do a little cutting here. I'm going to take this one off first. There's a couple underneath. I'd be able to get in there too easy. So let's start with these. That can flip up out of the way. I could actually unbolt this and move it. I could unbolt it and move it now, I guess. 6 one, half dozen of the other. All right, we'll start with the top one here. Cool thing of working with metal is, you know, if you cut too far, put a notch in there. Hey, next time you fire up the welder, just add some metal. Alright, let's flip it up. Oh yeah, see now, I don't know if you can see that. I know that, whoa, man. I need one of those big swing arms on the ceiling or whatever to, okay. So let's get it down in there and see if it'll focus. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. Will it focus? Maybe not. So let's pull it back. Pull the focus, the telephoto back. Alright, if you can see that, it should focus now. You should see a crack down in there, you know, a darker line down at the very bottom of the wheel there. That tells me that I got separation between these 2 parts, and I don't need to cut any deeper. On the other side, I didn't quite get that, but I should be able to pull it apart without too much trouble. So, oh, the battery's about dead, so let's change that out now. Okay. And yes, that is hot on the arm, hot on the glove. Beats being hot on the boob, though. Okay, now I'm not. I want to. There we go. Got it broke loose. Okay, so now what I can do so they don't get in the way. I don't recommend using these, the cutoff wheel, as a grinding implement, but if you do, and I've said this before in other videos and that stuff, don't push down hard. You don't want to flex these sideways. It's okay to put some load there and put a light load here. If you ever hear one of these crack, take it off, throw it away. But since I don't have a great deal of grinding here, I'm just going to see if I can't clean it up a little bit with this. More than clean enough. The arm really shouldn't matter a whole lot. And just so I don't have too many pieces flopping around here together, I'm going to go ahead and bolt this back down and zap that with some tacks. Actually, you know, this is fighting me a little here. I'm going to go ahead and cut these off too. Same way I'm doing that and that stuff, I'll clean it up a little bit so that I can put this plate back exactly where I want it. It seems to have picked up a little twist there. So I'll do that and we'll then we can tack it back together where I want it. Got everything cut apart. This one's ready to go here. I had a clamp up here, but then I noticed that the play in the on the aluminum bushing caused a little bit of twist there, so I'm just going to hold it over. I cut 3 of these, and then when I went to bend it a little bit to try to reposition it, it just snapped the other one off. So I ground that down so it's clean to put that back on there. I ground it down here as well. On this, I just simply hit it with the wire wheel. I'm not too worried about the rest of the nubs. I could grind those off pretty quick, I guess, but I'm not too worried about it. This is down and dirty. So let's throw a couple tacks on this side, and then I think I'll unmount it, put it on the other, and get an eyeball of where I can line this rod up at. Alright, that ought to hold. Let's put it on the frame jig and see what we get. So let's see here. Let's finish mounting this up to the frame jig here. I wonder if I get something wrong with that. Oh, yeah, maybe not. Alright. Snug these 2 down. Okay, so that's on there. This is still all the way over where I want it. Got to make sure that one is too. Need a Sharpie. So what I'm looking to do here is put this in a position where I want this edge here pointing at the outside edge here because I want my clearance. Okay, so this angle is off quite a bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to hit that on the grinder a little bit, get that back a little bit more to square. And do that first and then see about positioning it. That's getting hot. Nice. Cooled off. Let's see if we're a little closer here. Yeah, that lines up a good bit better. One thing I want to make sure is that I'm fairly close to center there. You know, I don't want it up like that. That'll make it a little harder for me to do the measurements and stuff like that. So the angle here is off too, so I think kind of what I'm going to have to do is put a tack or 2 in the back one there first. But I'm lined up with the edge here, okay, and I've got at least an 1/8 of an inch of clearance there. Basically, I'm going to have to let the jack down and test this. I'm going to go ahead and move this over a hair more and draw a line there so I can kind of put it back where I want it. You know, and all this is pretty rigid, so you know, I think I just might try my luck here. I think I might tack it into position here now, and then I don't have a whole lot of ground cable there. Tack it into position, and then I'll put it back on the other jig and see how close it is. But that way I can. Let's see. Okay, that should hold it enough for me to get it off of here and put it on the jig and make sure that the bolt holes line up and that stuff. So let's move it over. All right. Obviously those two are gonna still line up. These two are the question. And looks like I'm that way a little bit. Not quite sure what happened there, but yeah, I can't get the hole back in. Now, the reality is I could just re-drill the plate. Not really. I'd have to change these too, but you know, because that fit over there on the frame jig itself and that stuff. But I already checked all range of motion and everything with the original arm, the first one. So you know, it probably pulled in here somewhere when as it was cooling or whatever. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break this one, see if I can't get it over just a little bit, and see how that goes. Let's see here. Oh yeah, see now if I pull this flat up against the bushing there, the holes line right up, so that's exactly what I want. So it just got a little tweak there. I should have just marked it and put it back in here to start with. So let's hook the ground up. Now I'm going to go ahead and hold this one over too, just to make sure. And then I can put a couple extra tacks in that as well. But it acts like there's no gas. It's probably just because it's really dirty. Okay, let's check it again here real quick. Okay, nice. That's exactly what I want. Okay, back over to the frame jig one more time to see if it fits there, and then basically we can check the full range of motion and take the next step. Alright, it's back on. Let's see, I'm not up to the bump stop there, so let's go up to start with. Okay, that's tight up against the bump stop. 1/4 inch of clearance there, easy. Let's see if we can let it down a little bit here. That's a little below ride height. Still got an 1/8 of an inch of clearance there. Alright, it's hitting right there. I forgot to cut that off. I still have to cut that off in order to get the rest of it. I still got 1/8 of an inch of clearance here. So that's telling me that the next draft of this, I'm going to want to move that over even a little bit more. Okay. So I'll take that into account, but I think we're ready to start playing with the next level, maybe. I think I might have to cut that off. We'll see. I'll start playing with the next level and we'll go from there. So, next step, at least as far as I see it, this plate, obviously not going to cut it. You know, this has to get cut off back here. This is potentially going to interfere with the shock, and considering that this is about where the edge of, you know, the main tube is actually going to be, if it even makes it into tubing. It may go the other direction. Anyway, you know, all of that can come off. So what I want to do is I want to kind of sketch out the next design for this plate. Okay, so we got a hole. We know where these are. We know where, well, that's right up against the edge there. Holy cow. Okay, so from this arc, let's see here. I know the tubing is going to be about that wide, and right in there somewhere. Okay, I'm just going to kind of eyeball sketch some of this, and I want, let's say, 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so let's just, if I know the edge of the tube is going to be there, I haven't quite decided if I'm going to notch the tube like this for it to slide into the bracket, which I kind of doubt, because that means I got to bend the bracket exactly. What I'm thinking about doing is making, well, I'll show you here in a minute. So that's going to come up, ruler. All right, okay, so I got a ruler there. I want to basically eyeball it back to there just to get a rough idea. Maybe I should do this in pen. Maybe it'll show up a little better there. Okay, and that's eyeballed in fairly close, parallel to the other one. Let's just draw a little of that. Whoops, that wasn't good. So, all right, got all the holes lined up there. I think maybe what I'll do to keep that from happening again, let's clamp that down for now. Okay, so let's put those holes in ink as much as we can here. Good. Okay, so another 3/8 there, 3/8 here. Okay, so I know that the holes are here. I don't want this tubing to come past this point, but that ought to work pretty good. That ought to get it way out there. So let's just kind of pick a angle here to blend that over at. Now on this side, let's do kind of the same thing. I know that the inside line is going to be right about there. I need about 3/8 of an inch, and I'm just going to come up, and that can be a little less right here. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to put a light line in there. And let's see, from there, the tube will be about here. I'm just sighting down that eyeball on that. 3/8 of an inch to the outside of that, although I know that's way too deep because this has got to get cut off here. Okay, so this is just something to start with. And I'm going to put this back here and probably make it about that long, because I may end up bending it so that there's basically a U here that bends up, and then those fingers are on either side of the pipe and get welded that way, so the pipe will get capped and put in there. That's how the Thorbeck brothers do it for suicidedoors.com or something like that. And same thing here, and so then when that gets bent up. So I think that's enough to take it back out of here. And you know, if I stay at least 3/8 of an inch away from the holes there, and I don't need to get into that one anymore. You know, and these shapes and corners and all that kind of stuff, this will all change a little bit in when I start doing it in CAD, if it makes it to that point. I need something for right now that gets me in the ballpark. Okay, so if that's over there, then we'll bring that up there a bit more. And then once I cut out one of these, I could actually cut this out like in 3/8" plywood. It'd probably be a little easier. I just won't be able to attach it to the rod. So now to find some 3/8" steel and see about cutting the rough dimensions out and that stuff, and put it on and see what we got to do with it.